Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Brandenburg, but we're also here for another community replay. I know I've been sending a lot of community replays, but you guys have been sending me some great videos. This one, however, has been sent in by somebody all the way from the beautiful land of Romania. So I want to give a personal thank you for sending this out, and also a personal hello to all the folks in Romania watching the channel. Thank you guys so much for following me. Thank you to the great Sarmale. I probably put a little too much of an Italian accent in there, but a lot of you probably thinking, well, why would you do that? Well, believe it or not, Romania gets its name because they are Roman descents. I know, it's crazy. And by descents, I mean descendants. Sorry, didn't mean those are two very different words, but very different meanings. Very similar words, but very different meanings. But yeah, so the fact that the majority of Romanians believe that they are descendant directly from the Roman Empire. So that's an awesome history, right? But they have a history that is not always an easy one, as would most Eastern European countries, as you guys, I'm sure, are well aware. You guys probably know more about their history than I do, but I did a little bit of research, and obviously we all know about what happened after World War II with the fact that the Red Army, aka the Russians, aka the Communist Party of Russia, the Iron Curtain, whatever you want to call it, descended on the area, and they essentially took over and exploited many Eastern European countries, and Romania was one of them. That they forced into paying reparations, that they, and by reparations, I mean they literally just stripped them of a lot of natural resources, and basically, it's a whole thing. Like, if you guys don't know the history of, like, Romania and some of the other Eastern European countries, I highly recommend you check it out. The picture that I posted at the beginning of this, you may have realized, but it is also part of Romania. I believe it is called Piles Castle. So, beautiful country. It really is. There's a lot of beauty out there, guys. There really is. Doesn't matter where you're from, you can see it everywhere. But to start off, we are on shards. We've got the Charlie spawn. We spawned in the north, and so we're getting pretty fortunate here. We've got a lot of cruisers, Congress, Bismarck, and a New Orleans out in front of us, which means that we don't have a destroyer here necessarily. Maybe one's coming over from the middle. We definitely have a destroyer in the B-cap. Now, we're doing a decent job here of getting some damage. We were a little too broadside for a little too long there. Took some unnecessary damage, maybe. But one of the beauties of a spawn like this, when you're only up against a couple of cruisers and a Bismarck, is you can afford to be a little bit lackadaisical, a little bit lazy with your angling, because you're not really gonna pay for it that badly. Now, what he does next is he actually stops and he starts thinking about reversing to try to catch this Congress. Congress is a decent ship, but overall not the most armored ship. Now, keep in mind, the Brandenburg only has 305mm guns, so you got to be a little bit careful with what you choose, or where you choose to aim it, because you're probably not going to overmatch anything. So you got to make sure that you aim high here, and he does. Goes straight for the superstructure, clears the island, gets a great shot. 8 overpins into the superstructure is a great result on that salvo. You'll love to see it. Secondaries, of course, on the Brandenburg make the Bismarck secondaries look like the fireworks that they are. These things are accurate as crap. And don't forget, the Brandenburg actually has torpedoes. I know, it's crazy. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got good secondaries. It's got decent enough guns, even if they are a bit on the small side. But they're a little bit accurate. They're not the greatest accuracy in the world. If you've ever played this thing, you'll know what I'm talking about. But Bismarck comes out full broadside, and we get a couple of penetrations. Not the best hit, but 2 full pins, 2 overpins. Not a bad result there. And we get more fires, and the secondaries on these things are no joke. And you can see just the difference between the secondaries of this thing versus the secondaries of the Bismarck. Both are firing, but this one seems to be landing a lot more shells on target. Now, Bismarck does manage to get a fire on us, but we got 2 fires on him. and he goes ahead and he damage cons. Well, guess what? Now we've got torpedoes in the way. So if he's damage conned already, guess what he's likely to have happen? If he runs into a torpedo, he's going to have a perma-flood on his hands. And there it is. So now you've got the Bismarck permanently flooded, and notice that he doesn't stick around to fight the Bismarck. He knew that this cruiser was over here. The cruiser actually shot him, and I got to give credit to this New Orleans, the cruiser player using armor piercing. I love that. Look at the damage that New Orleans has done to this guy. That New Orleans has done probably, arguably, more damage than the main guns of the Bismarck at this point. Obviously, the fires, we were double fired there. We had to put the fire out. But you can see this New Orleans player, oh my god. I was about to give him a compliment, and then he goes and does this. I was going to say he knows what he's doing, and then he goes full broadside at point blank and gives up the juicy citadel of the New Orleans. You can't do that, my guys. You just can't do that. If he stayed bow in, he at least maybe had a little bit of a chance, but then again, you gotta respect the fact that the Brandenburg has torpedoes. But again, you don't want to find yourself in that position against this thing, for sure. But Heinrich is actually here, and this is terrifying. We've got a good look at the bow side plating. He actually aims at the belt of the Congress, which I don't like seeing. We've talked about this. But Heinrich is charging. We know that the Heinrich has torpedoes. We also have not used our secondary booster at this point. There it is. Secondary booster out. Hoping that our secondaries manage to knock out the torpedoes of the Heinrich, or that the Heinrich just straight up screws up. And lo and behold, the Heinrich does in fact screw it up. Here he gets the rear turrets on the target. The Heinrich is still alive. He's chasing the Heinrich out with a turn, and I don't like that. I guess he turned initially to get his guns on for the Congress, and now he's got torpedoes going out on the Bismarck once again, and now he's angled away from the Bismarck. In this situation, I would have liked to have seen him try to stay more angled to the Heinrich and to the Bismarck and not turn all the way out. But again, these are just me being picky. He gets the torpedoes away, he gets the shots out, Bismarck goes down, and that will be the third kill for him on this side of the map. And he's still got 2 heals to go. He's going to be able to heal probably close to 20,000 hit points back by the time this one's over, assuming that these are both going to be full heals. They're not quite full heals, but it'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of an extra 20,000 hit points. So he's got the survivability to get away with that. He did a very good job overall of trying to do what the enemy had, right? Like, there's only so much you can do when you're trying to, like, fight off literally everybody. He got very lucky when it comes to that Heinrich, that the Heinrich just whiffed on those. I have no idea where that Heinrich was thinking those torpedoes were supposed to go. Maybe he torped at the Cleveland rather than us. Not sure. And I'm sure that the Cleveland was doing the best they could too. But I don't know if you guys noticed it or not. But that game ended up being, as much as it was, yes, it was a raffle stomp, but look at the damage done. He essentially killed every single ship on his side of the map and did all the damage to them, getting a First Blood and a High Caliber and a Dreadnought and 196,000 damage done. So thank you to the great Sarmale. And thank you for sending it in. Don't forget, guys, if you guys are interested in sending in your own awesome replays, send them to me at spartanelite43@gmail.com. There's no spaces, no capitals. It's that simple. Whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's an actual file that you've recorded, go ahead and send it to me there, and I will look through it. Just leave a brief description in the title of the email, and let me know what the game is about, so that I don't have to, like, I can kind of filter them a little bit quicker that way, so I don't have to look at every single video, because some of the videos you guys send in just aren't up to the necessary, like, range of what I would be willing to show on the channel. So I do try to make things as good as possible, but almost 200k damage here in very short succession. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.